to Shane, you can sit next to Shane in this.
Okay.
Okay, pull your feet up so that Mama can push it. Oh, and
Katie, where's the reverse for the camera? You didn't reverse the camera.
here. So how you do that?
I can't see
Okay,
it.
so how you do that on the live is you go to enhance, go to this enhance part, and then it'll say enhance. Nope, that's the wrong button. I always click the wrong one first. Then you go to no, that's the wrong one. Flip camera right there. There you go.
Because I can't see those controls.
Yep, I got you done.
Okay, welcome. We are at the Dusenburg Museum here in Indiana, in Auburn, Indiana. And there is no greater car that was ever made than the Dusenburg. And for those of you who is following, we'll try to get you some good views. And I would suggest when you make the trip here, if you watched the Monster live a while ago, this would be another place for you to come to, because these are fantastic and you just don't see a collection like these anywhere, especially for those old people who like cars. Look at the inside of this baby. Now that's the way a car ought to be made, not stuff. Look at the back of this thing. Definitely a rich person's car. In the day when limousines were popular, look at this beauty. Now you talk about a beauty. Look at this green one. You were going out to pick up a girl on a date back in those days. What girl would not want to ride in that baby right there? Let's take a look at the inside. Look at that. This is what I like about these early cars more than anything else. These early cars were made with seats that were like a living room couch. Instead of these things that kill your back on a long trip. Man, come on. Who wouldn't love that? What a beauty. Look at the wheels on that. Here, we'll take a little bit of a distant shot of it for you. Wouldn't you like to have that sitting in your driveway? We'll go over and we'll show you the nameplate. I'm sorry I can't read your comments. I'm still having trouble with my eyes, so we're limited because I can't even read these nameplates here. And then look at this baby right here. Look at that. Is that not a sweetheart? Who would not like to take a girl on a date in one of these? And look, you had a nice little step-up ladder. Look at the interior on this one. Again, you've got that couch-like seat. Look at that big steering wheel. And in case you don't know why the steering wheels on old cars were so big, again, as old-timers, I'll answer that question for you while we're here. It is because they had no power steering, and it took two hands to turn the wheels of one of those babies. And then we'll show you one that you see in a lot of movies. If you're an old movie fan like me, this is one of the Dusenbergs that you'll see show up in a lot of movies, usually being driven by a chauffeur and some old rich lady in the back. And trust me, if you were going to own one of these today, you'd need a chauffeur and a rich old lady to ride in the back, because you probably couldn't afford it. But I want you to see the inside of this thing. Talk about an amazing interior. Look at that. And look, you think that the fold down is a new thing in cars? They used to have them in the front seat. You notice the fold down armrest separate the driver? There you can see the control board. And look back here at the back on this. It had the pop-up windshield divider. And look at that back seat. Now you talk about riding in style. You can see why you'd have to be a rich old lady to afford one of these. So you want to get your old Aunt Margaret to buy it and hire you as the chauffeur. How's that? Then you'd get to drive one of these everywhere. Ain't that a beauty? So if you've ever wondered a good reason to go to Indiana, this is a reason to come to the Auburn area and see the Dusenburg Museum. Now this is a 1932 Cord. How about that? That I could read for a change. Cord was another very high-end car of its day. Let's look at the front end on that thing. Look at that. You'd see that coming down the road. It looked like a monster, wouldn't it? Let's go over here and look at the interior on this. This is a rich person's car too. Look at the beautiful upholstery on here. Look at that dash. Oh man, if they made cars like this still today. And then look, you had the divider window between the two seats. I don't know if we can get a good shot of the back seat here, but you had a jump seat. Look at this. Look at this baby. You had a fold down jump seat. That would actually fold up and down. Now, a more modern time in the 50s, those of you that's old as I am, you'll remember the checkered cabs. They did a jump seat like that in the back of their cabs. So that was a Cord. Let's go over and take a look at this sweetheart right here. Look at that baby. Woo-hoo! Telling you, these were the cars that if you were looking for a girlfriend, and this one is really sharp because look at the paint job on that, the color of the paint. This is a 1933 Auburn. Look at this. Woo! And once again, got to look at to me, it's the upholsteries on the inside. How fascinating. Look at all those controls on the control board. And you notice this had the pop-up window on the front. You could crank that window open a little bit to get a little extra air, convertible. And the jump seat. And look, even that jump seat was comfortable. So here's how you'd get in. You'd step on the running board, then up on the fender, you had this rubber pad that you stepped on, and then you climbed into the seat. And don't worry, if you were going on a long trip, you hoped it didn't rain, but if it did, your luggage went on this rack right on the back. The biggest problem with these old cars was there wasn't much in the way of tail lights. Right there it is over at the license plate. Let's go look at another beauty. How many of you ever owned a car that had the spare in the front fender? Frankly, I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of them, but I never owned one. If we step around here, we'll get the name. This is a 1937 Cord. Notice not as much chrome as on some of the other cars. Notice how that has the louvers. And interesting about this is your cooling louvers went all the way down the side of this thing. And it actually has two spare tires on the fenders. Let's go look at the inside on this one. Look at this. Now that's when bucket seats were comfortable bucket seats. You have that nice armrest, nice back seat. Look at this baby over here. This is a beauty. I don't know if I can read. Let's see. Sorry, I can't read the name tag on this one. Once again, beautiful upholstery. I might mention to you too, most of these old cars, the windshield wipers were vacuum operated. So when you were going up a steep hill, you hardly had any wipers because they wouldn't work. Only when you deaccelerated could you get enough vacuum to keep the wipers working. (1931) Dusenburg. This is a 1936 Cord. Now notice the vents on this one going around the engine. It's not chrome, but it's sort of a gold colored chrome material that runs all the way up and down the sides on it. Gives it that extra fancy look. But look at this thing, man. This is a sweetheart. And once again, we'll look inside. You can see the beautiful upholstery, front and back. How about looking at the engine? Now, a lot of you women might not be as interested in this, but let's take a look at the motor on this thing. This is an 8-cylinder. You have 4 cylinders on each side. Your transmission. This is very interesting, and I've never seen this before on a car. The cooling fan is on the back side of the engine instead of the front side of the engine. Look at the carburetor system up here and the air cleaner. Pretty cool stuff. And we'll step over to this other nice and here we're looking at a 1937 Cord 812 Coupe. 37 Cord Coupe. And then here's the interesting thing on this one. You notice how the header pipes, that's what they call these header pipes. It's the exhaust for the engine. It's coming right off the side. So we'll step back over to the engine a minute. Your air intake is up here. Exhaust on this one is right here. So that's what you're seeing is those gold looking pipes coming out. I'll do a little overview of the section we're going into now. Now you can see the chassis. This is a 1926 Dusenburg chassis. And that's when they made a car. You see, this isn't uniframe. This is all steel. And if I haven't forgot my mechanics, this is what they called an H-frame because of the way you have the bars cutting across. And then look at this engine. Look at that beauty. (1935) Allbird. Now, besides the radiator for cooling, notice this one does the side exhaust too off the headers. Shoots down, goes into a muffler right there. Look at the interior on this sweetheart. But even back in the day, poor old Uncle Bill probably didn't own one of these. But rich Aunt Sally probably did. 1926, Dusenburg. This is another popular model you see in a lot of TV shows, movies. I think one of the features that sort of stand out on this one is your little spotlight here and the little fold-out window. Now the fold-out window here served a different purpose than the wing windows in our later model cars. This was actually to stop wind or rain from blowing in and hitting the driver. Because you see, there is no door glass. Look at the beautiful upholstery once again. And then we have sitting on this side. Try to step back far enough to get you a wide view of it. I don't know if I can. There you go. A 1930 Dusenburg. Look at the unique color of paint on this one, though. There you have your spare tire again on the running board. Once again, beautiful upholstery. And interesting about this model, it had the front door that opened here, and the back door that opened here, and the two doors sort of swung together in the center. Look how much legroom. You talk about legroom. Now these cars had legroom. You had a little fold down table there. We'll shoot over here at this one where we can get a nice wide shot of it. I mean, I admit, you got to be a guy who really likes cars to probably enjoy something like this, a 1927 Dusenburg. If I remember right, this one right here that we're looking at, let's see what year it is. I think there's a Clark Gable movie, 1927, where he's driving one that looks either just like or very similar to this one. Now here again, this is interesting. You've got the smooth leather upholstery. Nice looking dash. But then look here, you've got a divider between the front seat and the back seat. So sitting here in the back seat, you had this awning that went over. And as I understand it, the ideal of that is because women in those days wore dresses and skirts, and that would help protect them from having their skirt blow up in their face. Now we're going to see a 1927 Dusenburg. And I'm sure all car buffs have seen this. It's got that pointed back end. Another 1927. Little different style. This one does not have that bullet back end. We'll go to the other side of the museum, see what's on this side over here. Oh, look at this baby. Look at this baby. And this one is designed so that you, the lucky viewer, can actually go up into it and sit down and enjoy the comfort of these seats. Now here's the interesting thing. Now we're going to come over to the steering wheel. Look how high that you are from the ground. There you can see the beautiful dash, a wood steering wheel. And contrary to modern cars, that floor shift is not that easy to get to. You got to lean forward and reach, if you're short like me, to get to the gear shift. So, and for my motorcycle buffs, here we go. A 1933 BSA motorcycle. And does that seat look comfortable to ride? I thought I had with faded in black going up to it. And of course I almost trip over the wire. This is a 1931 Dusenburg, but the paint job on this one is gorgeous. And then all the chrome that's on there, wow. Who could not fall in love with a car like that? And we'll step over here. We'll take a look at these. Look at these. This is a 1933. You remember I mentioned the checkered cab? Well, this is a 1933 checkered cab, and the other one is a 1930 Cord. So this is the Cord. This is the checkered cab. And if you're an old movie fan, you have seen this cab, because this was as common could be in the old movies. And you can see how they did their design for the front, a separating panel from the people in the back. And you notice their famous pop-up seat, even in this one, in the back. So if you were taking a bunch of kids with you, you had a place to put them. Stick them in the back in the pop-up seat. And this is pretty cool too. Let me see if I can step off and get a wide shot of it. There's your plane. A nice airplane. Let's see. We'll go over and see if we can see what the data is on it. It's a 1946 Stinson. Here you get a little shot of the back seat. Pretty nice for a private plane. Pretty nice. We'll go over here to the front so you can see the cockpit a little bit. And then look at this beauty here. Look at this beauty here. This is a 1936 Cord. But when you see that silver on it, you can see why it was liked so well. That was truly a beautiful automobile. You might notice too, interesting, hideaway headlights on this one. Look at that, luxury in the highest level. All right, if you folks want to stick with me here at the Cord Museum and the Dusenburg Museum here at Auburn, we will waltz around and I will make the slower journey. I don't think that I'll spend any time on the second floor. They tell me it's mostly art, but there are some more cars on the third floor. So if I can manage to climb all the stairs, we will go make the climb. But I got to tell you, it's hot in here. And this jacket has got to go. So forgive me if I grab some silly photos while I remove my coat. right. Their elevator is broke down. So you can see this is quite a climb on the stairs. And I don't like climbing stairs. That makes my old heart hurt. Here we go. Beautiful paint job. If any rich person wants to donate one of these to me, I'll take it. I would love to while away the hours at a car show sitting in front of one of these beauties. Look at this. This is a crazy design. Look at the front of this thing. Let's see what this is. Sorry, I'm having trouble seeing it. 1948. I think they pronounce that Taste. Look at this baby. Look at, there's the interior. But look how it's got the rounded top with the sunroof. The back seat has a rounded top with a sunroof. Wow. 1948. I think this must be the car they designed for Rocket Man. No, I'm kidding. I tell you though, out of looking at all of these maroon colored, I just love that color of paint on these old cars. I'm sure they show every bit of lint on the upholstery, but I think they're just gorgeous. Look over here. These are nice. For those of you who are new joining, this is the Dusenburg Museum at Auburn, Indiana. And as someone said to me, an old car is an old car is an old car, and that's just not true. When you look at the beauty of some of these, it's amazing what they did in the designs of these old cars you only dream about in new cars. This is a 1963 Jaguar. Now there's two models of it sitting here. Look at this red convertible. Now that is a sharp automobile. You pull up on the street in one of these and I guarantee that you're going to have plenty of people show up to look at it. And that's why these were called girl chasing cars. Because the girls all would come out and say, "Let me have a ride." Now this is a 1952 Cristello. Can't say I'm familiar with that particular car. And then we have this one over here. Which is a 1933 Auburn. Again, that long, beautiful Cristello. I've never heard of that. Looking at the front tag on it, it almost looks like a BMW type of car. But that Jag, Let's step over into this other side. Oh yeah, now we're getting into some really old stuff. Look at this baby right here. Well, it's not as old as I thought. 19305. I don't know, you guys will have to read it. My eyes blurring. I can't see it. This is a race car though. Look at that. That's when racing was fun to watch. And look at this crown beauty. A 1910 Auburn. And we have another race car. I'm sure all of you have seen these on display at one time or another. And they have this set up for a kid to be able to climb in and sit down. Or an old person, which I am not going to do. This is an Indy show car. We have another nice sports car over here. This one is a 1954 Chevrolet Corvette. Did I read that right? 1954. I was going to say, that's the year I was born. I don't think I've ever seen one of these at a car show. A 54. Kind of a boxy looking thing back then. I see the inside. Cars have changed. All right, I don't know if you guys want to see, there is another museum that we're going to go to here in a little bit, which is called the Ford V8 Museum. And I don't know if I'll do live on that one or not. I don't want to bore everybody or get nobody following. But I kind of like when I'm on TikTok, I would like to watch people who come out and do the cars. And look at this one. Now, that's a girl's colored car, obviously. I can't read the title on this one. Look at that. Come on, ladies. Oh, here it is. 1952 Crosley Super Roadster. Look at that. Now, guys, you really want to make your wife happy? Mother's Day, pull up into the driveway with one of those and give to her. And she's going to like you a lot. She will say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you, sweetheart. And look at this convertible design. That's an interesting design on how they did the top there. The open side of it. This is a 1924 Marmon. And the old horseless carriage, what kind of car museum would it be without a true horseless carriage on display? And this particular one is a 1901 Hornus Apprehension Model A. All right, folks, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you for each one who's joined me. And I didn't notice this a while ago when we were doing the other museum until after I got off because of my situation with my eyes. But there were some gifts given. I want to thank you for those. That was very kind of you. I didn't go on the live with that in mind. This is a 1894 black. I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen any of the cars from the St. Louis Auto Works, which was famous back in these days. Or at least not any of them I recognize. The 1911 Iser, never heard of this one. Noticing where the steering wheel is, I would guess this is a British car. But look at that. Very nice looking car. We've got a few other oldies but goodies over here. Another horseless carriage. Oh, this one's too light. I can't read it at all. And then we have a 1904 Auburn. Look at that. Now that is, you got to admit, that's just purely beautiful. That is a purely beautiful car. And then we have this sweetheart.
Pumpkinhead has probably seen these cars closer than you have, Dad.
Do what?
Like chasing down and taking him down off of one of these cars.
Of course. Look at this baby. Look at the design on this thing. This is a 1912 Auburn, but you have your running boards, but what I wanted you to see is look here at the back. First of all, look at the seating again. My gosh, that was luxury seating. There's your gas tank. There's your big suitcase rack in the back. I don't know. When I was married with the kids, I guarantee that suitcase wasn't going to hold everything my ex-wife would load into the car. They must have packed lighter back in those days. Another beauty. I can't see that one. Looks like a straight 6 if I count the cylinders right. Something over some of you will enjoy seeing. Look at this right here. I didn't see this part a while ago. That's a beauty. Look at that thing. Look how they did the lights here off the side. And that is a 1911 metallic Q or something like that. Look at this little bullet trunk here in the back. See this bullet trunk? Oh, I guess some of the guys might want to see some of the engines. I'm going to have to do some reading on those engines. It's got the fan blade pointing to the back of the engine where the transmission hooks on. I've never seen that before. Never heard of that. Oh, look at this baby right here. Whoo, whoo, whoo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 16-cylinder engine. 2 spark plugs to every cylinder. So that makes me wonder, is there actually, I don't think so. I think there's 1 piston per cylinder with double firing capability on it. Oh, and here's a unique engine also. Whoa, whoa, look at that thing. There's a sweetheart too. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-cylinder, straight 4. Okay, now I will really say goodbye. Thanks again for attending. God bless each one of you. Don't forget to watch my videos. I'm not doing my devotionals as regular while I've been out on this road trip, simply because I can't see. So bear with me, and we'll pray that they'll get this eye situation worked out in the upcoming weeks. So thank you again.